Hey there, good buddy. If you're watching this right now, you're about to record a review for Total Recall. Now, you in for the real surprise? You are not you. You're me. No shit.
Covenant, calling Raven.
Payback time.
Come with me if you want to live.
You just don't turn it off!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason, and you're watching BACKTRACK Cinema, where we talk movies of the past that you know and love. Now, this is a request from one of my great YouTube members, Knight from the Nightwatch Zone, requested me to do Total Recall. So we're going to review this for him. We're going to talk about it, talk about this great action sci-fi classic. This is Arnold in his prime, and this is what Arnold does best. Action sci-fi, man. You know, with the likes of Predator, Total Recall, then he did T2. Just amazing run in the 90s, man. Arnold had just an amazing run. The movie does a lot of things right. It goes for a great tone. It has the action. It has this great sense of foreshadowing to the plot. The plot is compelling. It's a wild ride, man. It's a compelling, wild ride, Total Recall. I definitely want to thank Knight for Nightwatch for requesting this review. And, you know, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Total Recall. Do you love it, hate it, all that kind of stuff? And we'll have a great discussion here talking about Total Recall and talking about it in the comments below. So Total Recall was released in 1990, directed by Paul Verhoven, and starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rachel Ticotin, Sharon Stone, Michael Ironside, and Ronny Cox. Construction worker Douglas Quaid's obsession with the planet Mars leads him to visit Recall, a company who manufactures fake memories. I like going back and watching these movies from my childhood and just seeing, you know, what holds up about them, what doesn't hold up maybe about them. But this one's just such an interesting plot. It's a compelling story. They throw in the action, the chases, the tongue-in-cheek humor. They make it for just a really entertaining movie. This is a character who doesn't know who he is, and you take this journey with him to find out who he was. And I just really like a lot of the plot twists in it. And at the time, I didn't really see them coming, but I was only like 11 years old at the time. But I remember my dad, when we first watched this, there's a real nuanced scene where he's getting the vacation implants put in him. And the guy goes, "Whoa, that's new. Blue sky on Mars." And right away, my dad was like, "That's it. There it is. That's going to be the ending." You know what I mean? Of course, there is. You see the blue sky open up. You know, at the end of this movie, you see this. They melt the reactor, and that Mars has this breathable atmosphere. So there's a great sense of foreshadowing within the plot and the story. Like, there's a lot of instances of great foreshadowing. I always love the scene on the subway where at first it's like, "Come to recall," you know, recall, 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 and then after he wakes up getting chased by bad guys, then you see, why don't you take a real nostalgic vacation on a rocket and visit Saturn and stuff like that. Very cool humor. On Mars, there's like this red light district where you get all the girls you want, the drugs. It's like the ghetto. It's like a red light district of Mars, and they call it Venusville. And I love that little tongue-in-cheek of, you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and they call this little place where you can get all the women you want Venusville. You know what I mean? I always thought that was hilarious. And I think casting Arnold was a good choice. You know, he brings that star power. You know what I mean? He brings that charisma to all his roles. And I think that's something like when they did the remake, that's what I felt was missing. And that's why I felt it was disposable, because there was no real, like, Colin Farrell. Yeah, he's, you know, great actor and everything. But I think it's just more of a charm and charisma Arnold brings that I think this really helps this movie out. And his character, Douglas Quaid, is somebody who feels like there's got to be more to life than this. Like, I think I feel like I'm made for something more than this. And in his subconscious, there is something there, because his memory was erased and he was this bad dude working on the wrong side. He becomes Quaid, and he wants to stay Quaid, and he learns and rediscovers all this as we go on this journey with him, this finding out who he was and what he was doing and who he wants to be now. The movie has some of the greatest villains, and so many great villains. We got our head dictator here, Ronny Cox, you know, who worked with Paul Verhoven on RoboCop. He was great as Dick Jones. Here, he's even more sinister, man. Like, he's a really good character actor. How believable he is. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody. He's all about greed and power. He knows Mars has a breathable atmosphere, but he makes so much on air by selling air, you know, staying rich and keeping the people under control. And there's like this little rebellion that's going on, what the news calls terrorists, but they're actually the rebellion. So Ronny Cox is just, excellent in this. Another great actor, his henchman, Richter, played by Michael Ironside. Dude always brings it as a villain, and really like him in this. I like there's a great end fight between Richter and Quaid in an elevator. And that's a lot of things with the fights in this movie, is that they're not overextended. They're kind of quick and to the point, but still really engaging and great fights. What I like about Michael Ironside's character is they give him a lot of motivation. When they erase Hauser's mind and make him become Quaid, they dump him on Earth, and Sharon Stone is implanted as his wife to make sure the erasure takes place. So it's only been like 6 weeks, but into Arnold's mind, they've been married 8 years and all this, but she's actually the love interest of Michael Ironside's character. So the idea of this this guy that he hates, that's porking his old lady, it just sets him off. It sets this character Richter off, and I love that. There's a real, you get a real kind of hatred between both of these characters.
Give you something to dream about.
And the lovely and talented Sharon Stone. She's a villain too, and I absolutely love her in this movie. You can definitely see how this movie really landed her the role in Basic Instinct to some degree. Paul Verhoven directed that one too. I like how the character of Laurie can play it sweet, sexy, and then she just turns it up and it just becomes an absolute bitch, man, and it's awesome, man. Just love her in this. And one of the best cat fights ever, man, with Sharon Stone and Rachel Ticotin. Look forward to it every time, man. Sharon Stone has always been one of my favorite actresses. Growing up with her movies, one of my first crushes ever. I mean, she's hot as fuck, man. So always look forward to this cat fight, man. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I've touched on the action a bit, but the action's fantastic. You get a lot of blood and guts. You get a lot of shootouts. There's a lot of chases in this, with Douglas Quaid being on the run a lot in this. This movie moves at such a great pace. Even when it takes a breath, it's moving the plot along. When it does slow down a bit, it's moving the story along, and it's incredible pace to this movie. Practical effects that still hold up, man, done by the great Rob Bottin, who worked on RoboCop a bit, who worked on, obviously we know him from The Thing. And I find it funny that it got an Oscar, I believe, for the effects in this Total Recall, but not for The Thing. Because I'm thinking The Thing is still, the effects just blow me away in that. But well-deserved for this. Well-deserved, and congrats to Rob Bottin. All the mutants in the movie are fantastic. The work he did on Quado, just incredible. And of course, the elephant in the room, guys, the three-titted girl. We're going to mention it. I mean, when I watched this movie and then I went to school the next day, that's all anyone talked about was the three-titted girl. So I always found that funny. So watching this movie, whenever I watch it, it brings back memories a bit. In the music, Jerry Goldsmith cashing in another great score, to be honest with you. The movie just has the makings of a great action sci-fi. The Jerry Goldsmith score, pacing of the action, the star power of Arnold Schwarzenegger, great villains, the blood and guts you want. It kind of has it all, you know what I mean? But I digress here, and going back to Jerry Goldsmith's score, it reminds me of Conan, the way it starts, where it's kind of going dun 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 dun, and then there's that sustained note that Jerry Goldsmith puts in, and it keeps that rhythm going. You know what I mean? Absolutely love the Total Recall score is great. It really suits the movie. I don't have much negative to say about this movie. Now some of the effects are a bit dated, but they also add to a lot of the charm. The biggest one is near the end, where they melt the reactor and there's that explosion and there's the green lights everywhere. That's a bit dated, I would say now. And the Benny character, this mutant character who's driving the cab around and shit, and he betrays Arnold and stuff. I found the character a bit annoying. I always have, though. I thought he gets too much. He kind of can get on your nerves a bit. Some people may really like him. If I'm looking at the film with an objective lens, he can kind of be a bit irritating. But guys, Total Recall is an absolute blast from start to finish. It's just a great Arnold movie, a great sci-fi action flick that you'll definitely have a good time with if you haven't seen it. But I know most of you, or if not all of you, have seen Total Recall. So I'm going to give Total Recall from 1990 a B+. What about you guys? Let me know in those comments about Total Recall. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Is it just Mia for you? Just let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like, share all the videos, all that kind of stuff. Wait for the end card. I'll put some related content there for you guys to go down the rabbit hole and have fun on the channel. And thank you to Night from the Nightwatch Zone. Really appreciate it, brother, for you requesting this and support my channel. It doesn't go unnoticed, my friend. So that's it, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. I will see you next time, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.